Hello, good evening, and welcome to Become a Better Man. My name is Tunde Disu, and thank you for being part of today's program. I appreciate your time and your commitment to this platform. Apologies, we're starting quite late, later than we will normally. Normally, we start at 8. Sorry, this is almost 22 past 8. But we're here now, so let's get on with it. On today's program, we are looking at credibility. We are looking at credibility. What part or what role has credibility got to do or play in your life and in my life towards becoming a better person, towards becoming a better man and a better woman? We are looking at credibility. What is credibility? What is credibility? What is credibility? Simply put, it's a commitment to truth, commitment to fairness, commitment to objectivity. It's a how can I say? It's a distinction. It is a mark of clear moral standard, and not just a clear moral standard, but a clear moral standard that you are known for and that you stick to and that you display, that characterizes who you are as a person. The thing with credibility is it is bestowed on you. It's not something that you describe yourself as. It is something that people ascribe to you, again, because of your truthfulness, because of your fairness, and because of your objectivity. So credibility is a commitment to a high moral standard of truthfulness, of fairness, of being an objective person. It's a perceived quality, like I said. It is what people see in you and about you. People perceive that you are a good person. You are a credible person, rather, because you are truthful, because you are fair, because you are objective, and because over time people have seen you demonstrated a sense of or a level of stickability to those elements of truthfulness, fairness, and objectivity. Unlike height and your weight and your look, your measure of credibility is not an objective measure. It is not an objective measure because it is not something that you ascribe to yourself. It is something that others bestow on you. So you can't say, oh, my credibility level is at 75%. Well, that is just an opinion because it is for other people to ascribe to you credibility. Credibility is positively related to your success in life. The level of credibility that people ascribe to you plays a big factor, plays a big role in the success that you enjoy in life. It is a linear scale on which others rate you. So the type of opportunity that will be extended to you, the type of doors that will be opened for you, the type of promotion that you will enjoy, the type of favor that people will go out of their way to do for you, it's a function of how credible they think you are. Credibility is an investment that others have in you and on you. They invest their trust in you. They invest their view of truthfulness, of fairness, and objectivity on you. So when it comes to credibility, you have to have a high sense of recognition of the fact that this is what people bestow on you. You rate yourself on what others can observe rather than on what you intend for them to see. It is not about what you want people people to see about you. It is what people have seen about you and will then bring them to a point where they then give you a pass mark, give you a tick, give you or ascribe to you the certificate, as it were, of credibility. So one of the things about credibility is that because it's not something that you put on yourself, it is something that people ascribe to you. Therefore, you need to become a student of not just yourself, but a student of the environment that you find yourself. Become a student of the people around you, around you at work, at home, in whatever social gathering where you find yourself. Be a student of what people perceive of you and about you, because that is how you learn what your strengths are and what your weaknesses are. It is one thing for you to recognize that these are my strengths or these are my weaknesses. But you see, that will take you thus far. But unless you know what people think or what people perceive as your strength and your weaknesses, you will not be able to work on them. But that knowledge of knowing what people see as your strength will help you develop and grow that strength. The knowledge of identifying what people perceive as your weaknesses will help you sharpen and improve in that area. Now, does that mean you have to live at under people's or for people's approval? No. What I'm saying is become a student of yourself, become a student of your environment, become a student of the things and the people around you. Because when you do that, it will help you sharpen your strength and also strengthening your weaknesses. And as you do those two, you start to boost even your level of credibility in the eyes of others, not in your own eyes, but in the eyes of others. Credibility is the quality of being able to thrive, to excel, to push through in the face of challenges, without losing your spots, without losing your stripes, without losing your character. You and I, we have seen, we've lived long enough now, so I'm not going to say we might have. No, you and I have seen, we have witnessed, we have experienced people that we ascribe a lot of grace and credibility to, until they face a challenge, until they come face to face with an issue that seemingly is overwhelming or that stretches them and challenges their credibility. And then you start seeing them in the real true sense of who they are. But a strong credibility quality is the ability for you to face those challenges, to deal with them, to handle them without losing, without compromising, without letting go your integrity, without letting go your truthfulness, your fairness, your objectivity, even to your own detriment, where you uphold what you stand for. You see, character is who you are. Reputation is what people say about you. But your reputation is a function of your character. Because when the challenges of life will come, what it will threaten is your character. Because ultimately, once you foul up or you lose your character, it will have a negative effect on your reputation. When you are credible, when people perceive you as a credible person, when there's a general perception of the fact that you're a credible person, it gives you an air of confidence in all that you do, in your ability to express yourself. Even that credibility will find a way to express itself through the way you move, what you say, how you carry yourself, how you interact, how you relate. All of that will become like a fragrance that follows you everywhere you go. Now, You can earn credibility. Some aspects of credibility, you can earn them through your level of education. When you attain certain level of education, where you become an expert in a particular field or in a particular area, people ascribe credibility to you because of your expertise. On the other hand, you can also earn your credibility through the challenges that you have confronted and that you have overcome, that you have walked through, and not lose your person, or your integrity, or your character, or your truthfulness, or your fairness, as it is. So credibility is the sustaining aspect of your character, which invariably makes a lot of great leaders. Many great leaders are not because of the army they command, not because of the physical achievements that people can see. Many great leaders are regarded as great leaders because of the credibility that they have, that people, their followers, they've ascribed to them. So as you can see, credibility is a major aspect of life that we all need to imbibe, we all need to work on and improve upon in order for us to become better men and better women. For instance, there is this situation going on in America now about the nominee to go to the Supreme Court as a justice, Brett Kavanaugh. I mean, he was almost going through, he was almost at the final lap of his confirmation process. And all of a sudden, within a space of 2 weeks, maybe a week, there are so many allegations coming out to challenge his credibility, to challenge who he said he is, to question how far he has come, and some of the things that a lot of people have known about him are now being put to test. All of that will eventually determine where he finally finishes. Either he will be promoted to the bench as a justice of the Supreme Court, or he will remain as a judge in the appellate court where he is, or he will be demoted completely. So as you can see, credibility is a vital key, especially in this society where you don't know what to believe, you don't know what to trust, you don't know who to rely on. Everybody is playing everybody, and things are just in the air. But even in the midst of that, there are some people that, come rain, come shine, you know that they will be there. You know that they will uphold what they stand for. You know that they will not compromise their integrity. You just know that this person, they have credibility. When it comes to your life and my life, one of the rungs in the ladder of elevation, in the ladder of progression, on the ladder rather of assailing to the topmost height, one of the rungs on that ladder is this issue of credibility. And that is why some people will go so far, but they won't go further. Anything and everything they do, either at work, either in the community, either in wherever, they will rise to a certain level where it's like now they've plateaued. They can't go further because their credibility can only bring them to a certain level. And people that are supposed to give them the opportunity to go to the next level, to go to the next height, to attain the next position, they're concerned, they are worried, they're not too sure if your credibility will be able to sustain you at that next level. But the good thing about this platform is that we're not claiming that we're there. We're not claiming that we've got it all together. No, we are on a journey of discovery. We have embarked on this process as part of what is needed, as part of what is required of us to become better to grow, to develop, to increase, to really become a better person, either as a man or as a woman, so that when that opportunity to go to that next level comes, when that opportunity to be promoted, to be recognized, to be elevated comes, we are ready. We are ready, because most of the things we've been looking at on this platform, as you can bear me witness, they are little things that makes the big difference in our lives. And one of such factor is this issue of credibility. Quickly, let us look at some elements of credibility. What are the elements of credibility? What are those things that people will ascribe or see or recognize in you and in me that will make them consider you and I as credible people? The first element of credibility is integrity. The first element of credibility is integrity. Key element, a vital key, a vital part of credibility is the issue of integrity, because it involves transparency. It involves being trustworthy. It involves moral predictability. You know, Jesus said to his disciples, "Who do people say I am?" And I think for you and I, we need to every now and again stop and ask ourselves that question. Who do people say I am? Now, does that mean you again, like I said, does that mean you live for people's approval and people's commendation and all of that? No. But the truth is, you and I, we can't live in isolation of the people around us. We can't live in isolation of the society. We are constantly interacting. We are constantly and permanently rubbing our lives against other people, working with them, playing with them, interacting with them, trading with them, doing business with them, buying and selling from them, exchanging ideas, spending our lives together with them. And all of these are opportunities for people to measure yours and my credibility. And so what they're looking for, the number one element that they are looking for to describe you, to ascribe to you this badge of honor called credibility, the first thing people are looking at or looking for is integrity. Integrity. In fact, a survey was done where workers from different sectors of the economy were asked to name the number one thing they're looking for in a leader, in their leaders. And 90% or thereabout of the survey came back with this issue of integrity as the number one requirement that people are looking for in their leaders. Now, it is called integrity, but ultimately, you and I know what they're looking for. It's not just an integrity in isolation. They are looking for credibility. Integrity is just an integral part of your credibility. So integrity is about it's about transparency. It's about trustworthiness. It's about your moral predictability. How do people have to pray and fast just to encounter you, or do they have the confidence and the trust, the boldness to know that come rain, come shine, this person will be like this? Do people have that, or do they have to go into period of waiting on the Lord just because they want to interact with you? The truth is, in your life and in my life, we feel good about people that embody these elements of transparency, of trustworthiness, and of moral predictability. We are looking for them too. So if we are looking for that in other people, then wisdom demands that we should also have it at the back of our minds that people are looking for that in your life and in my life. Credibility implies a commitment to truth, a commitment to truth, a commitment to fairness, a commitment to being objective, to have an open mind, to give people the benefit of the doubt. The number one trait that people are looking for is honesty, integrity in you and in me. And it will go a long way to determine who we eventually become, what we command, what we attain, and how far we can go in life. People have a track record of being objective and truthful. People that have a track record, that have a pattern, that their lives is an embodiment of being objective and being truthful, they are perceived as credible people compared to those who don't have that. Compared to those who you are not sure. Every time you're dealing with them, you don't know whether to stretch your hand fully or to just have it half-mast. But when you know people and you have dealt with them and you have interacted with them, you've contracted with them, you've done business, you've spent life, you've spent time with them, and you can see these elements of objectivity, of truthfulness, of transparency in them, you can literally pull out your heart, if it were possible, and leave it with them and go away, because you know they are credible, they have integrity, they will look after you, they will cover you, they will protect you, they will preserve you. For instance, if you are asked to choose between two results, one of them is based on scientific and systematic inquiry and experiments and everything, and the other result is based on somebody's opinion. Well, in case maybe just, well, we shall see. Which of those two results will you go for? Would you go for the one that is based on somebody's opinion, that is not even sure of that opinion, or will you go for the result that is based on scientific, experimental, and statistically proven result? I'm sure we'll go for that one. Do you know why? Because we ascribe some credibilities to that result that is obtained, having gone through the fire, as it were. It's the same thing with your life and with my life. When people deal with us, when people interact with us, that's what they're looking for. That is what they're looking for. Is this bag of goods you are trying to sell to me, is it based on what you saw in your dream last night, or is it based on a proven track record of test that has been tested, that has been challenged, that has been questioned and queried, and yet it is still standing? Because integrity is a vital key in this field, in this realm of credibility. What do you need to do? What can I do? What can we do to boost this element of integrity? Is there anything we can do to boost it, to increase it, to engage it, to prop it up and take it to the next level? What can we do to boost our integrity within the confine of credibility? I'll quickly give you some things that you and I can do. And these are things that we can start practicing almost immediately. These are things that some of us are already doing. And all we need to do is to just increase the fire a little bit. Just give it a little more throttle. Just push it up a little bit, improve on it, take it to the next level. The first thing that we must do, that we can do, that we need to do to improve and increase our integrity within the confine of credibility, is that we must invest time. We must spend time. We must take time out to identify, to clarify, to completely know beyond a shadow of doubt, what are my values? What do I stand for? What are my values? What are the things that I can examine, that I need to really dissect within my behavior? What is it about me that if you cut me in half, this is what you're going to get? What are my values? Because without you clarifying, identifying, and refining, and retuning, and refocusing what your values are, you don't stand for anything. And if you can't stand for anything, you will fall for everything. If you are not standing for something, you will fall for everything and anything. So the first thing that you can do, the first thing I can do in order to boost our integrity, is for us to identify, clearly identify what your values are. What your values are. I remember the first program that we did on this platform was called Understanding or Defining Your Nuts, NUTS, your non-negotiable, unalterable terms. What are those things about you that define you? Not that others says about you, but that you have identified, you have worked on, you have developed to be your character trait, to be what defines you, what you stand for. Once you identify that, then you work on it. Then the second thing you can do to boost your integrity is make a commitment. Make an unyielding, a non-negotiable commitment to consistently tell the truth. I know that sounds like, are you for real in this world that we live in and all of that? Yes. Because even though it is dark in Egypt, there will always be light in Goshen. In the midst of this world that is seemingly going down the drain, stand out. Be the odd one out by consistently telling the truth. Make a covenant with yourself that you will always tell the truth. Do you know what it will do? It will stand you out. You will stand out head and shoulder above the crowd. Another thing you can do is to build a reputation for ethical behavior. Build a reputation for ethical behaviors. Don't just do what everybody is doing. Again, that is a function of you identifying what your values are, what you stand for, what you believe, who you are, what makes you you, what is unique about you. Once you have identified that in the first round, now build a reputation around that ethical stand, around those ethical behavioral patterns, around those things that people know. Oh, don't talk to him about that. He that's not for him. Oh, don't discuss that with her. She won't settle for that. Oh no. Oh, don't even let him know that you are even thinking about that. You know why people can say that? Because they have recognized, they have come to identify some ethical standard with you and about you. Another thing you can do to boost your integrity, when you make a mistake, be truthful. Put your hands up. Say, sorry, my fault. I got it wrong. Be truthful about it rather than trying to make excuses and give reasons and try to cover it up and try to shade it and try to blame somebody else and give an excuse why this. No. Own up. My fault. I'm sorry. When you do that, when you are able, when you have the character strength, the strength of character to own up that you made a mistake and be truthful about it, people will not just forgive you, people will respect you more. People will respect you more. Another thing you can do to boost your integrity, give credit to whom credit is due. Don't take other people's credit, even when they are your subordinates. Appreciate, recognize what contribution everybody has made in your life, in your journey, in your project, in whatever you're doing, and give recognition. Give the credit to whom it is due. When you do that, people see you as a person of integrity. Finally, what you can do to boost your integrity, when you change your current position, if for any reason you have to change your current position or stand or ideology or ethical behavior on a particular matter, do so, but do it objectively. Do it objectively. Do it for the right reason. Don't do it for political or selfish reason or to cut favor with somebody. Do it for the right reason. Do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. When you do that, when you do those things, when you imbibe all of this, guess what? Your integrity level is increasing. It's rising. And as it is rising and going higher, your credibility rate is also going up with it. So the first element of credibility is your integrity. Your integrity. The second element that people look for and people will identify and recognize to ascribe the stamp of credibility to you, with you, and about you is competence. Competence. How competent are you in this particular area? What is your competent level regarding the subject matter? Because the more competent you are on a particular matter, in a particular sector, regarding a particular issue, the more credibility people will ascribe and assign and give to you in that particular area. When you succeed at an assignment, when you complete successfully a project, and you build a pattern, you build a reputation, you have built a trajectory of being a successful project of completing projects, of achieving success in this, of achieving success in that, people start to see you as a competent person regarding that particular issue. So a track record of successfully applying your knowledge and your commitment, your willingness to continue to grow and develop and learn more and increase and become better. When people see all of that, they ascribe credibility to you. That is why experts in whatever field of endeavor are seen as credible people. For instance, if I come to you and say, "Oh, open your mouth, let me see," and say, "I think you've got a sickness or whatever," you're going to look at me like, "What did you have for dinner?" But if I come in a white coat with a stethoscope around my neck and I say, "Open your mouth," say, "Ha, ha," and I say, "Oh, you need this medicine," and I scribble something in the paper and say, "Take this to the pharmacy, take this one 3 times a day," you won't question me. You will do exactly what I've said. Do you know why? Because you have ascribed some level of credibility. Some level of credibility has been ascribed to me because you deemed me to be competent enough to know what I'm saying regarding the issue at hand. We rely more on people who can demonstrate expertise. We rely, if I come to you and I say, I think you should invest the money you have now, you should invest it in this particular stock and buy these shares and trade this deal. And the first thing you're going to ask is what your level of knowledge, of expertise when it comes to trading or stock trading or buying shares or investment generally. If I don't have anything to show that I know what I'm talking about, you put your money under your pillow because you don't trust my advice. Not because you don't trust me. You don't trust my advice because you don't see it as coming from a place of credibility. People ascribe credibility to people they perceive to be expert because there is the understanding that they have a good knowledge of the issue at hand. They know the right question to ask, but more than that, they know the right answer to give for those questions. When people can perceive that about you, they think and they consider you as a credible person. So competence, and when we talk about competence, I'm not just talking about competence based on your degree, which is great. It's a factor in it. I'm not talking about your competence because now you have PhD, MBA, BBC, LLB, and all of that. No. Competence can also be a function of the number of years that you have spent on the job, learning on the job, and to some degree, practical experience carries even more credibility than your paper certificate. Just because you have a paper certificate hanging on your wall doesn't mean you can deliver. But the person that has been doing this practically every day over the years, people will even give them more benefit of the doubt. People will ascribe greater credibility to them than they will do you or me that just walk off the road and trying to shoot our mouth. If you want to boost your competence level so that you can increase your level of credibility, these are the things you need to do. If needed, if that is what is required, complete your degree or get the next degree. Educate yourself. Learn, grow mentally. Learn, grow in your intellect. When people see that you are growing intellectually, they respect you. They ascribe credibility to you because they see you as a competent person. Maybe you're already in a trade or you are in a particular line of business. Don't just stay with the level of entry that you started with. No. Get a license. Go for the professional exam. Get certification. Become a certified person in that field. Because the moment you become certified, people see you as an expert. People see you as competent. People respect and defer to your opinion regarding that issue. If you want to boost your competence level, request to be included or to be in charge of projects that have high visibility that people can see and can therefore measure your success, the track record of how successful you are or you have been in the course of doing that project. Don't just hide behind your computer and all you see is just your balance sheet and profit and loss and just that's all you know. No, Expose yourself to new area of growth, of development. Get involved, participate in a task force that is seemingly outside of your realm of everyday work. Put yourself in a position where you can grow. My background is accounting. I did accounting in college. I remember, I think it was 2001. My then pastor called me and he said, "We're starting a TV ministry, but we need you to go and learn how to edit." I mean, as at that time, what do I know about video editing, or not even video recording, not to talk of video editing? But guess what? I said, well, if you say so. I started learning, and in the space of, I think it's about 2 months or so, we got our own editing suite. And there I was, started editing the TV program for that ministry. And that program was being aired on TV stations in 216 nations as at that time. But you see, I refuse to be bogged down to, oh, I'm an accountant, so I can't do anything outside of that. No, once the opportunity came, I dived at it. I jumped at it. I put myself into it. And I'm grateful because today I still have the skills. No knowledge is lost. Boost your competence level by participating in meetings. Ask probing questions. Find answer to knotty issues. Find a way to resolve a problem. That is what will stand you out as a competent person. Oh, wow. Quickly, element number 3. Element number 3, as far as credibility is concerned, the third element is sound judgment. Sound judgment. We've talked about integrity, we've talked about competence. The third one is sound judgment. When your friend, a friend that you trust, when they advise you, you listen. When they encourage you, it boosts your level of confidence and all of that. It's the same thing when it comes to people that we perceive to have good or sound judgment. A credible person can be counted on to analyze difficult situations, complex situations, to ask intelligent questions, and to make good and proper decisions. When that becomes your trait, the fact that you can make good judgment, you can make good decisions, you can make good contribution, people ascribe credibility to you. You see, a person with good and sound judgment, they always, one of the things you will know about them is the fact that they always see the big picture. They are not narrow-minded and narrow-focused. They always see the big picture. They think wide. They see wide. They project wide. They don't get consumed with short-term perspective. No, they always have a long-term perspective on things. Where would this be in 5 years, in 10 years, in 50 years down the line? They plan towards that. When people see that, they perceive you as a person with a very good judgment, good or sound judgment. And that is an avenue for them to ascribe credibility to you. You will have heard, and I'm sure some of us will know, of some businessmen. They don't start businesses. They don't start any business. But rather, they sit down. They analyze what is going to happen, where the market trend is heading. And then they start to acquire small or little businesses that will line them up to take advantage of the market trend in 5-10 years' time. But they start to do that from now. Do you know what people say about them? They have sound judgment. They can think further. They can see further. They have the ability to think long term rather than short term. If this is an area where you need help, where you are struggling, where you need to improve your credibility, then help is at hand. Consider the impact of your decision on other departments and groups. Don't just think about me, myself, and I. Think about others. This thing that I'm about to do, this thing I am about to say, this action that I'm about to embark upon, how will it affect the people in admin department, the people in finance, the people in HR, the people in legal? How will it affect the people in production and the sales? And think beyond just your immediate self. Another thing you can do is, rather than trying to do it all by yourself, learn to take input from other people. Learn to rub minds with other people. Learn to allow others to input into you and into your project. And when you make mistake, be willing, be ready, be committed to admit that you made mistake. Don't shy away from it. Don't excuse it away. Don't try to blame something or someone else. Admit that you made mistake. Read books. Listen to tapes. Become a student of management experts. Think about what they do, how they do. I have an account with Audible, which is an audio book, and one of the books in my library in Audible is called 100 Great Companies and the great minds behind them, or something like that. 100 companies and the great minds behind them. And every now and again, I go back and just listen to that audio tape, to that audio program, just to think, to see how these people think, how did they project, how did they consider what was going on in their mind when they were in this particular position. When you do that, you're boosting your ability to have sound judgment, and ultimately, you're boosting your credibility. Let me know what you think so far. I want to believe this is helping somebody out there. Please say something, write something, share. If you haven't shared the program, click your share button now. The fourth element of credibility is something that we all can have a little bit more of. And that is the element of being a likable person. Being a likable person. You see, generally, naturally, people will respond positively to people that they like. It's a natural phenomenon. It's a natural tendency for you to relate, for you to refer, for you to respond, for you to interact with somebody that you like. People would rather go to a place where they are celebrated than to live in a place where they are tolerated. It's a natural thing. Everybody wants to be liked. Everybody wants to be recognized and appreciated and all of that. When people like you, when you are a likable person, people will trust you. They will cooperate with you. They will support and approve your proposals. They will commit to your agenda. They will even buy from you. Do you know that all of us, every one of us, will buy not primarily because it is cheaper in this store compared to that store, We buy primarily from the people and the company and the group that we like. Take for instance, if you want to search for something on the internet right now, there are at least 10, 15, maybe 20 search engines that you can go to and type that thing in and it will bring it up. But somehow we all default to Google. Part of that is not because Google is maybe is the best or the biggest, but part of that is because we like Google. Google has become everybody's friend. And so we, by default, that's where we go to. That's where we lean towards. That's where it's like a default button that we press. It's the same thing. When you are a likable person, people just want to be around you. They want to hang out with you. They want to help you. They want to support you. They want to believe in what you believe. They want to do what you do and all of that. Another example of when you are a likable person, people ascribe credibility to you. They do what you do. They follow your instruction. They follow your footsteps. When President Barack Obama, for instance, was going in for his first term in office, everything was going and they were trying to mobilize a big crowd and all of that. Then one day, Oprah Winfrey came out and she casted her support for Barack Obama. It's been recorded that on that one single day, because Oprah Winfrey said she supports Obama's candidacy, about 1 million people joined the Obama camp. Why? Because they like Oprah. Because they trust Oprah. Because they see her as being a credible person. Likability in you is as important as your ability. It is not enough to be able to do. It is equally, if not more important, that people like you. That you are a likable person. And one of the things that successful, likable people, one of the traits they have learned is how to balance their expertise with the proven formula of success by refusing to become arrogant, by refusing to take the people around them and about them for granted. They will not take people for granted, take advantage of people, because they recognize the aroma that draws people into them is called likability. It's how much people like you as a person. And when we talk about likability as an element, there are four ingredients. There are 4 ingredients that combine together, and if you can get these 4 in, you become a likable person. I don't care how sour your face is. If you can imbibe these 4 ingredients, you automatically become a likable person. The first one is you must be friendly. Friendliness is without compromise for you to be likable. If you don't have friends, it's because you are not friendly. Pure and simple. The second ingredient is relevance. Be relevant. Make yourself relevant to what people are dealing with, what people are handling. And the third one is empathy. Show that you care. Show that you care. John Maxwell said people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Show that you care. And the fourth element is be real. We have too many actors in going about. We have too many phony and fake people about. Be real. People are tired of phoniness. They are tired of fake. Be real. So the 4 ingredients are friendliness, relevance, empathy, and be real. And when you have all of this together, you will be able to express enthusiasm in what you do. And because you express enthusiasm, the things and the people around you, there's an upbeat emotion that people can't get away from, that becomes a magnet that draws people into you. And that is why leaders that are optimistic, leaders that are enthusiastic, they have the tendency, they have the ability to retain their best people, irrespective of the condition that is prevailing. So if you want to boost your likability, if you want to increase how much people like you without being funny, without being a clown and being perceived as not serious, in order for you to boost your credibility boost your likability as an element of your credibility, you must communicate optimistic. Everything around you and about you must be optimistic. There's no downtime. And you don't fake that. I think about 2 or 3 weeks ago, we did a whole 2 sessions on being an optimist. How to develop and cultivate an optimistic mindset. Communicate optimistic by describing challenges rather than seeing problems. See challenges rather than describing them as problems. Focus on what you can do rather than what you cannot do. Go out of your way to be friendly. If you don't have friends, it's because you are not friendly. Show yourself friendly. People will become your friends. I'm not an extrovert. I'm an introvert. Says who? It is a mindset. You can change it. The beauty of having a mind is that you can always change it. Practice. Learn how to find humor around you. Don't carry yourself too serious. Don't put your face all the time as if you're sucking on lemon. Find humor around you. Find a way to laugh and smile and be happy. Express gratitude. Be grateful. We've done maybe 2 or 3 different programs on gratitude, on being grateful. Be grateful. Be either privately or publicly. Be grateful. Show gratitude. Also demonstrate an interest on matters of personal importance to others. Demonstrate an interest on matters of personal importance to others. I can use myself as an example. If you know me and you're close to me, you're my friend, or we talk from time to time, you will agree that every time we exchange pleasantries, I won't just say, "Oh, how are you? See you, bye." No. After I've said, "How are you?" the next thing is, "How's the family? How's your wife? How's your husband? How are the children? How's ministry? How's business?" Because I don't want to just know you on the surface. I don't want to just relate you on a high and by level. I want to develop a deeper relationship with you. Learn to celebrate other people's success. It makes people like you. And do it genuinely. Whew. Got 3 minutes. Let's finish it. The fifth element rather of credibility is that you must be sensitive relationally. You must be sensitive relationally. You must be sensitive in your relationships. People with high credibility, they know how to ask questions, about values and interests of others. They're not just self-focused. No, they have learned to identify the values and the interests of other people, and so they tend to talk about it and relate about it and discuss about it and ask questions about it when they are dealing with that person. It's been said that one of the sweetest sound in anybody's ears is to hear his or her name being mentioned. Is to hear somebody call your name. Is to hear somebody mention your name. Is to hear somebody talk about you in a positive way. When you listen to people in relationship with you, listen intently. Listen with an empathy. Listen to hear them, not to contradict them or contend with them. Listen from your heart, not just from your head. People with high credibility, they demonstrate that they can be trusted to listen and to work in the best interest of others. If you can develop that, if you can grow that, if you can become that, people will see you as credible. People with high credibility, they are consistently showing strong emotional character and integrity. Constantly. They are known they are not known for mood swings or inconsistent performance. No. And because of that level of relational sensitivity that they have, when they are going into any situation, any conversation, any negotiation, people by default just give them heads up. They give them the advantage because they know, they trust them, that they are not in it to take advantage of you. Rather, they will give you the advantage. If you become known, if everybody gets to know, if more people gets to know about you, that you always build commitment, you always invest in cooperating, you are always level-headed, you are fair, you are transparent, you are objective. When all of that becomes what people think and know about you, everybody want to be with you, they want you in their team, they want to be around you. And that is how you build a credibility. Demonstrate willingness to learn from others, especially when you make mistakes. Demonstrate concern for others, for their values, for their goals, for their objectives. Listen. Be able to listen. Cultivate the ability to listen. We did a program about a year ago talking about listening. There's a difference between hearing and listening. Take time to build a relationship with informal conversations. Be generous with credit to colleagues and subordinates. Take time to understand other people's point of view before you start refuting it or rejecting it or contending with it. Take time. And in closing, credibility is a package. It doesn't come in isolation. You cannot develop one of these 5 elements that we've talked about and think you're credible. If you need all of them, all these five elements must be present and functioning in you for people to ascribe credibility to you. People will ascribe credibility to you when they rate you on these 5 elements of integrity, of competence, of sound judgment, of relational sensitivity, and likability. When people can identify this in you, you are the best things in sliced bread as far as they're concerned. Understanding the elements of credibility will provide you with opportunities to boost your perceived credibility, which ultimately will boost your success. The truth is, you can learn it. I can learn it. We all can do better. And that is why we're on this platform today. Become a better you. Become a better man. Become a better woman. Develop on your credibility. With time and consistency, you and I can boost our credibility everywhere. 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 Well, our time is up. In fact, we've gone about 7 minutes above our time. Sorry about that. But I think it's good for us to really summarize it at this point, rather than leaving it till next week. I hope something that is said tonight has given you reason to think, to act, to plan, to challenge yourself, to find a way of becoming more credible. Because we all can do with more of it. We are all liable to growth and development and increment, especially in the area of our credibility. Thank you so much for being part of today's program. Thank you for your consistency. Thank you for your commitment. Thank you for being there all the time with me. I appreciate it. Thank you. If you have not shared tonight's program, let's do that now. Just click that button and that's all it is. Share the program. And if you have any question regarding this topic or any other topics that we've dealt with in the past, I don't know, this is program number 85. So for 85 weeks we've been doing this. If you have any question with any of the programs, drop me a line. Drop me a line. And all these programs are also available on my YouTube channel.